Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Nicole Thomas, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with SailPoint customer Nigel Miller. He's the manager of identity and access management at Maximus. Maximus partners with state, federal, and local governments to provide communities with critical health and human service programs. Nigel, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Nicole.
Let's start by having you tell us a little bit about you and the role that you have at Maximus.
Yeah, sure. So I started Maximus just a tad over a year ago. The idea behind bringing me on board was identity and access management was an area that there was a need for to mature. So that was not a formalized position. My charge a year ago was to come on board and build out a formalized IAM program. Part of my focus is to focus on rapid risk reduction in the highly privileged areas. And that's been up to this point. And we've purchased SailPoint recently.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the SailPoint family. I know you guys are building your identity program from the ground up. What were some of the business drivers for building that program?
So it started with the CISO at Maximus. He's been there for, I believe, 2 years now. He came on board and did a general assessment of what the environment looked like. He recognized that some of the highest risk area was in identity and access management, and he wanted to bring somebody on board to lead the program, to kind of get a better idea of the current state, and then focus on reducing the risk. We've actually not only reduced risk significantly, we've also improved the user experience for many users.
Great. And in terms of your program, what was driving a cloud strategy?
So Maximus has a large infrastructure as a service, and we're moving more and more to the cloud. As we go down that path, we're also looking at more SaaS-based solutions. We're moving in that direction. The IAM team is also fairly small. So we're a new team. The back-end management of the systems would really distract us from our focus to reduce risk. So transferring the back-end management over to the teams that really understand them the best is part of how we've been so successful where we're at. The IAM practice, the program at Maximus, is really focused on adapting ourselves to best practice. We kind of started in not necessarily a clean slate. Identity and access management is everywhere, regardless if you actually have a formalized program. But we do have the impression that some things are going to change, and we will be adapting to best practice as we go. Another important aspect of the reason we've went with a SaaS-based solution is because we have a small team, we value configuration over customization. Customization I've seen so many times I have a background in engineering, software development, and building out solutions. Configuration over customization any day. So that's how we're going down this path. Again, we're focused on adapting to best practice and using configuration options over development and customization.
What made SailPoint stand out from its competitors during that sales cycle?
So there's quite a few things. We started out after our assessment, a general idea of the products that would handle what we were looking at. So we did start out with an assessment. There were great demonstrations from SailPoint. One of the things we started off with SailPoint is the SaaS solution was, we were told, not necessarily the most fitting for an organization our size and enterprise base. We basically looked at that and we tried to understand more about what that, in that discussion of what that meant. So we go down the path of many organizations don't want to change their current processes and they want to adapt things to their processes. I don't feel that we're a unique situation. We're not a unique company necessarily in the deployment of IGA solution. So we really need to adapt to that best practices from a security perspective. And when we're evaluating in those demonstrations, we ask very specific questions on things that would that would conform to our needs and what we wanted it to do from a configuration options. And we had great technical demonstrations of how we could accomplish what we were trying to accomplish. So great engineers on the SailPoint side with the ability to adapt their presentations as we adjust. As we mentioned, we wanted to see something different from what we originally said. So that ability to pivot and show what it is just kind of one of those areas that was a very good strength in the SailPoint tool and with the knowledge of the presenters. Another important part is the customer reference. So one of the things that really stuck out to us is when we started digging into the details of how the different customers that we spoke to had deployed other products. You dig in, you read between the lines of what is being said. You ask questions that are very targeted to understand what those implementations look like and why it was that they purchased their solution. We wanted to know what was actually implemented in those solutions. How long did it take? What kind of issues were had? What the current version that customers were on, and what the process to upgrade those systems was. That was really an enlightening experience as we went through with those different customers on different solutions and what the results were of those deployments.
Final question for you, Nigel. What was the tipping point in the sales experience that made you want to move forward with SailPoint?
There was a few things that were really tipping points. I mean, we came out with an open mind to understand what the different solutions were and how we put on the path of deploying them. The biggest eye opener and the biggest tipping point item would probably be the customer reference calls. The people buying the product, like us, for example, need to ask those tough questions. Those tough questions, the answers to those were very enlightening as we went through that process. That was a huge tipping point. We also, the demonstrations were also very good as well. There was the displays, even though the systems, I mean, any IGA solution is going to be potentially complicated. I think that the descriptions and the presentations showed that it was fairly simple to navigate SailPoint. And that was a big key feature of SailPoint, is that it wasn't this monstrosity that we were looking at and just thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to have to do this hundreds of times. That we didn't get that mindset as we were looking at it. So those types of things and listening to us, those were big tipping points. The biggest one, again, was the customer reference call and asking those tough questions.
Nigel, thank you so much for sharing your experience. We're happy to have you as part of the SailPoint family. Take care.
Thank you very much.